Alrighty, I'm doing a session for a client, so I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Okay, so I'm going to read your goals and get started here. Thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today. Okay, so you say, I've been having health issues for the past few years. I was at my lowest with the whole thing, summer 2019, and have been focused on healing ever since. I've come a long way, but I'm still having food reactions, skin reactions. I am stabilized with some tissue damage and a very restricted diet. Doctors are now at a question mark with why it happened and is all still happening. I would love to get some insight into what the situation is and how to get free, get healed, be cured. Okay, so it's like a mysterious health issue going on here. For the past few years, you were at your lowest point with it all in the summer of 2019, and you've been focusing on healing ever since. You're having some food reactions, skin reactions. You've had some tissue damage. You're on a very restricted diet now, and there's still the big question mark as to what's causing this. So what is causing this? What is this? Why did this happen? Where is this coming from? Okay. It's a mystery. We're going to have to be like Sherlock Holmes. Okay. This is, the more I sit with this, it's making me extremely emotional in my heart. Like, I feel at a loss. I feel loss in my heart. I feel an unresolved devastation in my heart. I really do. All right. I'm going to relax here and get tuned in. So what in the world is going on here? I mean, I feel so many strange ways. Energetic movements, okay? Like moving around my arms, my hands, across my collarbone, my heart, a lot of movement in and around my heart. And as I experience these movements, it's almost like we don't want the world to see. We feel it, but we don't share with the world in a way because there's a restriction actually in the self-expression. There seems to be a restriction in the self-expression. That's just the first thing I'm feeling out, okay? We got a long ways to go here. We have so much time and so much to dive into. All right, so let me just go with this because I feel a little bit weird. Like, I want to do some like body movements and I don't know, some dancing. But then all the energy just wants to come back in, just come back in, just come back in. Don't do those things. Don't do those things. Just bring it back in, just bring it back in. Don't do those things, But it's very quiet. It's not aggressively. It's not forcefully telling me I can't do this. However, it feels natural to just tuck that back in, bring it back in, put it back into the heart. And it just, my God, it feels like your heart wants to pour out another language, sounds, dances, weird noises. It feels like your heart has, there's like an appropriate place. And then there's this inappropriate place. Like you have so much to your identity. You have so much to who you are. And it's safe to just be human. It's safe to just be like everybody else. And it's easy in a way for you to not give in to that because it's easy to just be like everybody else. But this energy is saying you're not to be like everybody else. Because, I mean, in the end, like realistically, I can't be you. You can't be me. We can't be anybody else but ourselves. And to try to be anybody else is... it's not really honoring how awesome each individual person is. The world needs individuals, it doesn't need the masses. We need individuals, not It's like, okay, we can go to Best Buy and we can find a bunch of the same cell phone or computer or whatever. But we can't just go to Earth, like it's a store and find just a collection of this type of human and this type of human. You could say you can. We all fit into different categories, right? But what are we as individuals? You have to be an individual. You have to be yourself. You have to be an individual. You have to be yourself. You are not a product in a store that is one of many products in the store of the same kind. You are the only one of your kind. I mean, that is undeniable. I walk into this, bam, it's undeniable. I'm not even having to look for anything. I'm shown this immediately, okay? Is it possible this is causing issues with diet issues? I mean, could this be, when it comes down to it, anything emotional is going to create stomach imbalances. It's going to create weird digestive issues, pooping issues. Anything emotional does. And what is it to be an individual is scary. To hold back being an individual. Safer, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't feel good to be somebody that isn't ourself, So all these things are kind of hard and emotional stuff, self-expression stuff, throat. I mean, what we eat goes through here. It's about self-love, self-communication. That stuff is all, I mean, everything's all connected. But, I mean, this is what I'm walking into for starters, okay? And it's pretty awesome because it feels so easy for you to just let this out. But what is impressive to me is how natural you are at deciding not to do that. And it's so natural. I mean, it's cool how natural it is. It's surprising. It's cool. How do you do it? How do you do it? Man, if you could feel this layer, it's like a bird that flies into a window because it couldn't see that there was a window there. Like, this is so invisible, it would be hard to detect that you were holding anything back. It's just that's how good it is. That's how good of a job you've done at making this so natural that you are just being you. But you aren't. You're totally not being you. And the real you is so knocking at the door that it's like the closet image where you open the closet and everything comes out. And then there's the final like bowling ball that hits you on the head, you have all this stored in your heart. And it's like very much so. It's like at the tip of the tongue, but it's like it's ready to burst out. It's ready to flood the world with your individuality. And so what is this layer here? It's like as thin as a sandwich baggie. Like, how do you do it? How do you hold all of that back as though you're not holding anything back? And it's convincing. It's convincing. As convincing as there's no window there. There's a window there. I can feel this. Okay. Let's see what comes. I don't know why. I just feel like laughing hysterically because it's incredible what you're doing. And it's incredible who you are if you just stop doing that. And the world is going to be gifted by you, the gift that you are. Oh my God. Okay. I just feel like laughing. I don't know why. I just feel so happy. Like, hilarious. I feel like a hilariousness. Like, it's just so, everything is so funny right now. I don't know why. It's just so funny. This also, it's amazing. How are you doing this? Okay, so I have like a major energy storing up in my palms here from being in your energy field. And it's like, I can't, it's undeniable lightning bolts going through here, and it's moving down my arms, and then it's coming across my chest, going into my heart, and it's just like hilarious in its energy, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's like, it's like driving this is your basic old Escort or something, and then getting into like a Lamborghini, it's like, wow, the difference. So this is great. I love this feeling. It's like, let's rev up the engines and see what happens, And so all this energy is just like flowing, and it's coming across, it's going into my heart, and it's like, wow, it's so alive. It's so alive. This is you. This is you. You're so alive. Oh my God. Okay. Uh, I mean, how are you, like, how are you doing this? How are you fitting into society with all of this energy? Okay, let's see. Boy, my neck is getting really tight. And you're so distant now. You're like so distant. You're getting absorbed into like a gray ocean, and it's pulling my heart. It's like pulling on my heart, and it's pulling on my emotional gut, and it's like these gray branches of a squishy tree. There's a rubbery tree but that's got density, and so I feel these gray branches and they're everywhere. And there's a gray ocean, and then you are in the gray area, and you're reaching these branches like hands, and you're tugging on my heart, which is also collarbone for some reason, right across the collarbone, straight down to the heart, and then the emotional gut. And it's like literally so jarring. I feel tense in my arms. It's how it's an external event. It's like an external pulling sensation where all this lightning bolt stuff was yours. It was all you, you know? Now, what is you doing here pulling you like this? I mean, you're so energetically expressive. I can't. I mean, it's very easy for my body to go into weird contorted states because you're so vibrationally noted. I mean, I feel where the energy's flowing from very obviously. Okay. I'm gonna have to just be weird, okay? I'm just gonna have to be weird about it. Again, right here, it's like right there, like, like that Tarzan level stuff, beating on my chest here. There's energy that it's not like it's in the throat. It's like it gets jammed somewhere like right here between the throat and the heart, and it's like literally desperate. It's desperate in here. I'm just gonna let her continue to pull. So she's way over there pulling, pulling. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue to let her pull because I want to feel where all of this is connected. How is it affecting all this, all that you are? And why is she doing it? I say you pull her. I say you pull her. You have all this electricity. Send it into her gray branches and you pull her. You tell her what to do. Okay. You don't want to for some reason. You just don't want to. It's like, I don't know. You kind of are like, just let her, I'll just let her pull me. I just let her pull me. And it's slightly hypnotic, it's slightly relaxing to the point that it's comfortable, and it doesn't require you to be responsible for anything. So why not? It's like the kite pulling you instead of you in control of the kite. I mean, why in the world would all right, let's say we're jumping off of a mountain and then we have what, like a one of those, we're connected to it and we're flying like birds in the sky, right? Now that's like a kite scenario where it's cool when the kite's pulling you, right? Um this is not, this is like kids kite pulling you, and you say sure, why not? And if it drags you through the mud, if it drags you through a swampy forest, if it drags you into the mouth of a lion, well, whatever. You don't want to take responsibility for who you are, for being who you are. And it's actually relatable and understandable that what the energy that you're expressing makes sense. But why? I don't know. Why? We're going to let the gray upon the gray upon the gray reach its gray branches, its ghostly energy, stretch it into parts of your super dynamic energy field, and let it pull you along so you don't have to even be responsible for putting your feet on the ground. It just pulls you and it just takes you places, you know? Man. When you give into her, you get blessings in the heart. It feels like good in the heart, okay? When you give into her, it does. She gives you gifts in your heart. This is backward. This scenario is backward. You are in control. She is the one pulled into your heart. She lives with you. You guide her. You guide each other. There's something backward about this. There's something, it's like the kite takes you. No, you take the kite where you want to take the kite. The kite doesn't even know what it's doing. It's a kite. You know, she is just guiding you along. What is she guiding you? What is her motivation? What is her direction? Does she even care where she is guiding you? Do you even care where you are being guided? This is the caring part that has to change. You have to want to be you, and you have to want to be you. By being you, naturally you guide yourself as you are. None of this other stuff is there, okay? I'm creating like heavy blocks so your feet are like pressed to the ground, okay? No more of this. I feel like she's the one that's sleeping. Because I send information to her and she seems not aware or not fully there or half asleep. She seems, there's a lot of different reactions that I'm just ignore. Like, I'm not falling into those. And what I'm just going to do is I'm taking I'm unwrapping what is like this ghost energy that's great. And it's primarily around the heart. And I'm sending it back to her. You're bound and you're bound and gagged. I mean, there's more of this ghost stuff around your mouth, around your feet. Like you're not going anywhere. Your hands are even bound. Did you even know that it gotten to this point? There's a pretty nasty man that he's very energy of the sea. Like he's got a tentacle like body parts, and he's black energy. He needs you to be bound. He needs you to be bound. So when I stop that from the heart and send it back, it shows me more of what's going on here. And I see you're bound. I see she is bound. She is asleep. You just let it happen. So therefore, you're kind of sleeping too. You're just like, whatever. And it's comfortable. I mean, it is comfortable. It is nice. Not helping you, though, be free. You know, like you're a borderline ultra free. More free than a lot of people. Borderline there, you know? You really are. He is not only a oceany type man creature, he also has something of he's land and sea combined. And he's a black, shadowy, slimy thing, okay? And he's large. He's starting to remind me of, you know, the Disney Hercules and what's her name in she's kind of bound to that monstery guy. He's like a horseman, and is her name Persephone or Persephone or something like that? I can't remember. Um, I'm probably way off, but there's something of his that energy of that bad guy, okay, and the energy of this guy in your energy field, and you're bound to him. You're bound to him, okay? Both of you, I'm not understanding the gray you and the you that's just letting the gray guide you, and then the binding of this you that's letting the gray you guide you. Like that you is bound to this thing, which means the gray you is also bound to this thing. And so we're still figuring it out here. Everything's starting to look like it's all underwater. Everything is kind of like the ocean waves going back and forth, and it's very, I mean, it's captivating, it's hypnotic, it's calming, it's relaxing. And you're kind of like a plant that's just under the water going back and forth, and you're lifeless. You just let things move you. You let things just move, and you just move wherever it moves you. It just, whatever, you know? This energy is really influential. It's not easy to break. So influential. It makes me just want to join the team. Cool. I could do this too. Really? I could just like go back and forth. It's like fine. Okay. No, I can't do that. You're not even supposed to be doing that. Not easy to get you to stop letting this decide for you, be your guide. I mean, it's not healthy energy at all. Very attractive though because it's so relaxing. Takes all the responsibility away. And it's calming, it's peaceful. Still getting there. I have a feeling this is way more disturbing than how it looks. There's just so many weird layers to it that are hiding the truth. And it's so encouraging of comfort that it is, you're not realizing how bad it's getting. And how stifled you've become, and how sucked into this you've gotten, you know? This is not easy to break. I'm still working my way towards you. I'm still working my way into you. You still working my way into awakening you to. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to project my consciousness into your mind, and I'm going to show you this creepy guy that's here. And I'm going to show you what you look like bound in this weird energy under the water. And the gray you is also a part of this, and neither of you have really been in control of the other. I mean, you've just been like driftwood in a way. Weird. In your mind, you are sitting and you're chanting. You're basically chanting something, okay? And you're chanting it over and over and over and over, and it just echoes, and as it echoes it creates basically a wind with symbols in the wind, and it circulates around a room, and I hear the echo of chanting for unfathomable time, and you're just sitting in your mental body in this place chanting, okay? And I stop her from chanting. And when I stop her from chanting, that guy is here. He fills her mind with a black ink. She's chanting in order to keep him out. But the only way to break the spell or break the chains or whatever here, we gotta change our approach. If he starts to consume the mind, then we deal with that. We deal with the thing we don't want to deal with. What's the thing you don't want to deal with? In this scene, you don't want to deal with this guy. So you imprison yourself and then chant as all the control that you'll ever have. And then he can have everything else. But as soon as you're done chanting, he has everything, right? No, he doesn't. Because nobody can have you. Nobody can have anybody. Man, oh man, there's weird eyeball looking things coming out of your third eye and the inside. It's like we're inside of a room, inside of your head. And from the walls, there's these big eyeballs and they have little tails connected to them. And they're just coming into this room, filling this room. And you just choose to fall asleep. You don't want to look at anything. You don't want to face any of this. You just want to sleep, and then whatever he wants to do, fine, whatever. You don't want to stand up for yourself because you just don't want to. You just don't. I mean, to me, everybody has a right to what they want or they don't want. You don't want to stand up to this guy. You don't want to. You don't want to. Okay. Believe it or not, vibrationally, that statement is vibrationally in balance. Okay. It is vibrationally in balance. So then you don't have to do anything. But we're not going to do the echoing chanting anymore. And just lay here and then let's just see what happens, okay? You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. But change is inevitable. Change is a must. So then change will force upon you whatever comes next, and you will end up having to do something. Maybe in the end you will have to face this guy. In the end, maybe not yet, maybe not today, but at some point you will have to face this guy. You'll have to face this, all of this. You will have to face it. Inappropriate stuff going on in here. It's inappropriate, and it's very it's odd looking creatures, okay? Odd, like this man who, they're odd looking genitalia as well. And there is a sexual event taking place underwater. And it's very odd looking male female parts, but it's happening. Okay. I can experience there's an intimacy taking place here between a male and a female energy. And there's very odd looking fish like beings that have some land looking parts. And the thing is you are not interested in this interaction. You're not interested in this exchange. However, the exchange is something that you must participate in whether you want it or not, okay? And so now the exchange is happening. And you just let the exchange happen and you accept that it is happening. And you just kind of close your eyes and look away from the event and you just let the event happen. And you tell yourself this event is safe, this event is normal, this event is fine. Just because I don't want the event doesn't mean that it's bad. So you didn't want the event? You say, what? I say, you didn't want this. What made this okay then? There's weird parallels about other lifetimes or other societal ways where you could be set up with your life partner, okay? And it's by blood or super families, that royal families or whatever, and intermixing to keep the wealth or whatever, so there's a forced marriages, and you don't want anything to do with this person, but fine, it's part of what we need to do, to create children. But this has nothing to do with creating children. This has nothing to do with that at all. This has nothing to do with what is necessarily like marriage. This has to do with an acceptable sexual exchange that you don't want to participate in. So you didn't want it. You say, yeah, but it's not that big of a deal. So where are you in when it comes to living? Where are you in living? When are you in the equation of life? Is it somebody else's life you're living in, or is it your life you're living in? And then that somebody lives in their life, and you both decide equally in a balanced way to make exchanges or not make exchanges. If one says yes and the other says no, that's not a balanced exchange, period. Are you saying no and the other side saying yes? And then you do it anyway? Whose life are you living in? Your life or someone else's life? And they don't care about what your needs are. If they're saying yes and you say no and they don't care, then you don't matter in the equation. If 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 is kind of like not that important, then 1 plus some kind of not important 1 equals what? 2? 1 is not participating in the equation with the other 1. So then what does that equal exactly? You know what I mean? You aren't a 1 if you're not. You're a 0. 1 + 0 = 1, okay? The 1 then is left alone with itself. You are participating in the 0. So I'm taking you out of the equation, okay? Because you're saying you didn't want to be in the equation. If you don't want to be in the equation, then no is the answer. 0. I don't want to be in the equation. Your opinion matters. You matter. The other 1 should agree. You also matter. Just as important as 1. You are also 1. Just as important. Man, you're full of eyeballs. And they're all starting to rise up to the surface. Lots of eyeballs. And the primary colors are white and red, and they have red tails. And they aren't evil or angry, okay? The red does not represent anger or evil. It's just red. Red and white. And it's weird. You know that Indiana Jones, I think it's the second one, where they go and they eat the eyeball soup? It reminds me of eyeball soup is coming out from inside of you. It's coming out of you. Eyeball soup. They're big eyeballs, though. They're like softball size eyeballs. And you're basically like a sack. What remains of you is just like a plastic bag drifting in the ocean. You're not even a jellyfish. You're just a plastic bag in the ocean. I feel like this is paralleling some kind of alien lifetime. And a sorrow that was never resolved, and it's like a timeless sorrow, and it's a sorrow that has to do with love has to do with needs of the heart, has to do with sharing of the bodies of two, because these eyeballs represent babies or children. They represent like tadpoles, these are like babies that will one day become whatever they become. And I feel like you were not in love, you were not aligned with your partner, but there wasn't anything that really emotionally defined that for you in this life. You just sensed it in your soul or your body somehow, and it wasn't really for this species to feel one way or another. But you sensed that there was something off here because you weren't drawn to this one. You weren't desiring this one, but you were still with this one. But it didn't matter anyway because that's just life, And I'm telling you, that we're working with emotions that are familiar to the human body, but they're not necessarily human, and they remind me of inner water beings of the ocean. I'm gonna tell you, I'm putting words here into your mouth because they're the words you're not speaking. You don't love him. You don't love him at all. You don't love him. Something about you understands love is an agreement between two, where two come together, two share together, and it's balanced. Something in your biology is different, saying and allowing you to decide if you want something or not want something. You don't want this. So it's not okay that you're still going through with it. Man, there's wishy-washy stuff. This isn't just one lifetime. There's other lifetimes here too. This one's complicated because the emotions can neutralize, but they can still feel things like, I'm drawn to this, I'm not drawn to this, but whatever anyway, it doesn't matter, because that's life. And it's very neutral level stuff. It doesn't feel really terrible or really happy in this experience with the water beings. But the thing is you were different. You felt something. You felt something that would be equivalent to no. I don't want this. You didn't have any tools or means to really interpret it, so you just went through it. That oddly enough, that created a something at the soul level. It created a something there. And we're not neutral here. This is not a neutral environment here. We want something, we don't want something. Because there's overlays of other lives where you just went along with everybody else. You just went along with the crowd. And it was fine because you're fine being flexible. You're fine with it. You just went along with things. And because it was so neutral and so flexible, it didn't matter, what you wanted, because it didn't really matter if you even knew what you wanted. Because just to go with the flow of everybody else was fine. That's contentment enough. It doesn't need to be about you. Again, we're getting lost in this, like the plastic bag drifting in the ocean. Like, it's just this empty plastic sack just drifting in the ocean. That's what this energy is equivalent to, is energetically that. It's not the excitement, the laughter, the fun that I tapped into, the lightning bolts in my hands, the electrical energy, the life force, who you are, By having these types of lives, you're not remembering who you are or living for who you are, because it doesn't matter, right? Plastic bag on the ocean versus jellyfish. Every jellyfish matters. Plastic bag on the ocean matters in ways like, well, that doesn't belong there. But in a world where nothing matters, then whatever, a plastic bag on the ocean. But it has no heartbeat. It has no mind. It can't think for itself. What's its existence? Jellyfish versus plastic bag on the ocean. Your energy is plastic bag on the ocean. You matter. No wonder you can't eat right. No No wonder you're having reactions. Where is this energy coming from? I have to get this neutral, whatever this neutral is addicting. It is content. But believe it or not, it is a super prison. It's a super trap. It's not good. I say, why were you chanting and not wanting that man to come in if it didn't matter anyway? What about all these eyeballs? You need to start speaking straight with me. This is not someone's life you're living in. This is your life. Your life. Your life. You live your life. I want to see how gross and ugly and nasty this really is, because this is all hypnotized into this content, neutral, it doesn't matter, it's fine, whatever way. It's when it gets that bad and it's that attractive, and it'd rather be this than live for myself. And then it's when it's uglier than we could imagine beneath the surface. I'm gonna decide how gross it really is, okay? And then I'm going to show you. So what this really is the novocaine. It's the numbness. It's the inability to feel. So if we can't feel how bad things really are, how bad could they actually be? Why don't we just show you a body that has no skin because it was just completely ripped off, all right? I don't know why it's showing me the animal with the skin ripped off and it's just thrown in a dumpster with a bunch of other animals and it's just quivering there. Like, what the heck just happened? What is happening? I'm in shock. That is what I would say is the equivalent of what, if we could feel how bad this is, that is how bad it would feel. And I need you to feel it. I need you to feel it so we can remedy it. Because when we feel it for what it is, now we've done the work. We're not avoiding it. We're not neutralizing it. We're not numbing it. We're doing the work of feeling the intolerable, disturbing, ugly pain, the wrongness that burns. I am going to get you out of this. I am getting you out of this as we speak. I'm getting you out of this. The gray you is really doing everything. She's not going to let you out, by the way. And I'm getting through to you, but you don't know that you want to get out because you don't really believe me. Because this hypnotic energy is just like, it's fine, whatever. This guy is really as powerfully neutral as they all get, you know? But he has a purpose. He has a point. Like, he has a desire. He has a I want something. So he's not neutral. He wants something for himself, all to himself. He wants his one, okay? Interestingly, you have become two. The gray one holds you in place as well. You're just sleeping between two versions of energy that are hypnotic and numbing, and you don't know anymore. You don't know anymore. I don't know what's like this. If you want to talk about being lost, this is becoming so energetically lost. It's hard to find your way back to yourself because you can't even feel what it feels like to be who you are. So, how are you to even know who you are? Like, how are you even to know what that is? How do you even begin to act like yourself? You can just be a plastic bag on the ocean. No big deal, right? There's a big difference between a plastic bag on the ocean and a jellyfish. Is alive. A jellyfish has a heart and a mind. You also have a heart and a mind. You're not this empty thing. You are not just a tool for the ocean and the wind and the whatevers. It's your life. I'm gonna expand myself, and I'm just gonna be all. I'm gonna be all of you, okay? I'm gonna be all over you, man. I'm gonna be all over. I'm your feet, I'm your legs, I'm your hips, I'm your torso, I'm everything, okay? Because you need an extra body to help you. It's like never being woken up from a trance. Never ever, not in an eternity, ever being woken up from a trance. And never having the memory to know the difference. And to think that the dream is the real world. And to not know any different. And then to have somebody saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. And it just, nothing registers. That's what this is like. But it's affecting your physical body, isn't it? It's actually creating physical body stuff. That is a big question mark, you know? What is this and why? What's causing this? You got some weird energy stuff going on. All right, this is where we're gonna I'm gonna make some annoying noises, okay? A lot of them. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create lines, okay? So I'm gonna create really annoying lines, and I'm gonna make really annoying colors, and we're gonna move really fast, and then we're gonna stop and then move fast, and it's gonna get herky jerky, and it's gonna feel barfable in here, and we're gonna get loud, we're gonna get soft, and we're gonna get confusing, okay? Because I have to stop the vibration from you ever hearing the sound. Huh. Not what I expected. I'm starting to see that you. Huh. Okay. You ready for the unexpected? Where you are being, or you are in between these two energies, okay? Extremely vibrationally influential. But this is the other side of the coin. While they have you, you have them. So who has who? You have them. And you aren't going to let them go. What we all thought was that they had you. But beneath the layers, you have this dark, twisted side that is, I'm never going to let them go. Never. And I'll let them think they have me for as long as they want. But I own them. I have them. It's kind of interesting. It goes to show that when you try to possess someone, they then possess you without you realizing it. But this is where it becomes quite loud and quite clear that there was a unexpected twist. It's almost like you knew this all along. There's so many interlaying lifetimes that they're inconceivable lifetimes. I don't know how to relate to some of them, because some of them are working in a different energetic physics, okay? A different physics to the universe, a different rules, different emotions, different ways of relating, different ways of working with energy and creating or destroying things, different ways of influencing others' thought processes, existence, lives. I go this dark, thin line, and I see that you're torturing them in two black energy balls. This is beneath the surface of everything. And it's all electrical, and I feel it in the palms of my hands, and it's dark. It's not happy at all. It's really like you're going to torture them forever, and they'll never get out. Because you agree that deep down inside, you were saying no. And no was not respected. No was not enough. No was not going to work in this situation. And that angered you in your soul. That angered you in a silent place inside yourself, and you were not going to tolerate that, and there was going to be a reckoning. But you're hurting your own soul as well as this other beast like thing, this male energy. And you don't want to let either of them go, because when you have to stop, then you have to hear what they have to say. You have to see what this has all been about. You have to come full circle with it. You know what I mean? Anguish and anger in a silent place. How'd you do it? Nobody would have ever known how truly angry you are. To the point there's going to be this dark reckoning that nobody even needs to know about but you. You'll even manipulate yourself and let them think they're manipulating you at different layers of reality, when in the deepest layer of reality, you've got this completely and utterly under control, but in a way that is hurting everybody, including yourself. You scream that like you would rather eradicate your very soul and take them with you than ever stop. You're so full of electricity. I touch you. Is that why I parallel you to a jellyfish? Because you're so full of electricity. What I have to do is create another, I need to create other areas for this energy to be transferred into. And I'm going to have to knock these two off of you. Like, it's like straight up, you're electrocuting them and they're attached. And you aren't letting them go, and they can't let go of you even if they wanted. I'm literally going to whack them out of your circuitry, okay? And I'm redirecting your electricity. And I'm putting you in a wooden box, and there's no water. And you're screaming. My God, it's a vast, dark pit. And these are just like, everything is just burnt and fried. And these two are just not even functional at all. They're basically little flimsy little cloths or something. There's nothing there. I'm putting them into a Tupperware container. Here we go. I put you in there. There you go. Cute. Okay. Here we go. I put you, weird man, in this one. Okay. Okay. There we go. I've got them all tidy in their own little containers. And they're like wet rags in a way, but there's like nothing left. I'm taking them out of the space. And it's like a burnout light bulb, but it smells like smoldering, and it's wet still in here. And you need to time out. Another image of I don't know where your soul's been, but again, it has different type of genitalia, and it's slightly naked, and it's got humanoid looking. It's a female, but she's also kind of male, and it's weird. It's very strange how she looks. So she has hooves. Her toes are not human toes; they're like hooves, and I mean, she's wearing cloth that drapes around her neck and then drapes down in front of her, but pretty much everything else there's no clothes. But this cloth that goes in front has like a band around it, and then it's so there's a drape that goes all the way down that opens so I can see genital, and it goes down kind of down the legs, and then there's one that goes down the back. She has the weirdest sounding voice. It makes echoing noises, and it's like it is it's bumpy sounding. It's like a bumpy sounding noise, and screechy as well, but more bumpy sounding. And she's in a cave, and the ocean comes into the cave, and she has like antlers. And she's so angry, it's unbelievable. And she's never gonna forgive, she's never gonna forget, she's never gonna stop. I say you hurt yourself too, you know, that gray you hurt her. You hurt that male. You hurt them. It, they hurt you. So then they need to be hurt too. Like, when does this ever stop? Like, it has to come to a stop. This has to stop with you deciding that you know what you want now and what you don't want now, you know. There is so much breaking out of the front side of who you are, and it's from deep down inside, and it is busting out, and it's a weird freakish bony thing. And it's coming out your face, your neck, like it's coming out of your chest, and it's just pushing out straight out. And it's an energy thing, so it's not ripping you apart or anything, it's just coming out. I say, so you're not neutral, and you don't need to be angry anymore because it's over. You don't need to hurt anybody, you don't even need to hurt yourself because it's over. Send love into yourself, send love into that man. It's over. And you don't have to feel neutral about it. You can feel angry about it, but it stops now. It stops. Anything that you're sending to him or sending to yourself that is hurting, that is burning alive, that is ripping, that is like this, is stops now. Because it's actually hurting a version of you that is in the human world in the present day. It is hurting that you. Holy smokes. She can't deal with her thoughts. She can't deal with her emotions. She's sitting down, and she's making these weird noises, like animal like, but it's what would make a sound like this? It's odd. It's bumpy and echoey, and it's guttural. I mean, it's low sounding. And it's like coughs of sounds as well. And in here it can echo a bit. And she doesn't want to live anymore either. She needed to let it be felt, her suffering, but now that it's gone, then she doesn't want to live anymore. She can't live anymore. She doesn't want to. And she's gutturalling these bumpy noises all over the place in here. It's echoing. And I feel the meaning of this in your heart and in your solar plexus. I also feel that this needs to be merged with your human self because it's separate. And this is also affecting, though, your human self. It needs to be really finalized. It's like I feel an orb of this is not, it's like bouncing off of you, but this is all who you are too. And you know about this because it's bringing up issues in your physical reality. Because you need to forgive, you need to love, you need to let this dissolve. You need to soften it. Not because you just accepted it and went neutral, but because you didn't. Because you just knew that no was the answer. And you learned some lessons from it, and now you know differently. And nobody needs to suffer. Started to hear the you that was in the Tupperware, the gray you, coughing, and she's covered in water. That's kind of gooey. And she has 3 eyes. And I can feel her feet. I can feel her standing, and she sees you and she's afraid of you. You look so different than her. I mean, you look so strange, but you also look humanoid. Imagine having a nose that is very bony, but it looks like an elephant trunk that comes out and goes straight up. It goes straight up. Like a snorkel in the center of your face. And you have horns like a reindeer. She's terrified. The gray is you is terrified of this other you in the cave with the ocean water coming in. And I asked the other you to show her that it's safe. You're too stubborn. You have too much pride. Like you're not going to ask for forgiveness or bow down to anybody. You're not going to regret ever having done that. I say that's fine, but this is part of you too. And this you is trying to reconcile this. This male is starting to get very blubbery and bloated, and he looks like a big blubbery thing. He even kind of rolls in here now, and he's covered in black. And he said he didn't know. He kind of knew, but he didn't really know that this was going to upset you this much. Say this all has to be reconciled. What do you say to this? In the end, these are all soulmates, you know? Parts of who you are. I see you let your body go and you become a pink, like you become a spirit. And you emanate a soft, like rose quartz like energy. And you look like the sun off the ocean water. You do say, I don't want to see that soul for a long time, and it's the man. And you send him away, and you aren't going to go back for a very long time. You need like a very long time, and you don't want to run into his soul for a very long time, and you send him away basically. You started turning into millions, bajillions of little tiny clam shells. And you're a form with arms and legs, and you're just made up of bajillions of clamshells, and you walk towards this other you, and you're more a male side of who you are. And she isn't gray anymore. but she is very sad and she's withdrawn and she's kind of cored out on the inside, and she shakes and she's cold. And you, the male you says, um, be a part of who I am and let us walk together is kind of what it's like. And I see all the shells break off of him, and it's like he is an energy and you are a female energy, and there's a male female part of who you are, and I just see you invisibly start to intertwine, and you start to just soar in the universe as far away from everything we've seen as you could possibly get, because you're not neutral and you're not hypnotized and it's not forever and you're not avoiding and you're not hurting and you're not, none of this is real anymore. It's gone. I see them attracted to stars and suns and really warm environments. Like in the astral plane, it's like they're attracted to celestial bodies that are full of light. And they rehabilitate in these places together. I see that bulbous black being is like delirious, like seeing stars as to what in the world happened and why. But I'm sending him to somewhere where he can be guided in a new way. I feel like a major release because that male energy was a part of who you are. Your dynamic has been sent away from you. I feel like you've run into this male energy in other lives and other universes of experiences. And you don't want to deal with that soul anymore. You're done for a very long time. That has been removed from your energy field. All the while, you're coming into a rehabilitation with your male and female sides and starting to live for who you are and finding your identity. Let these sides go live in warm places and in different bright places. Like, let them rehabilitate. And all the while, you're going to start to feel like you're more of who you are in time, okay? This is huge. I know that maybe that sounds, I don't know if you're able to collect it or follow all of that happened there. But a lot, I mean, you're going to feel a lot better, okay? Some of this stuff, you can think about it, wrap your head around it, but in the energy world, it is exactly as it is. I've already worked through it. We're rebalancing, reharmonizing who you are so you can be who you are. And 1 + 1 can equal 2, and it's the one and the male and the female side of yourself intertwining to become whole, for you to feel whole, for you to feel free to be who you are, for you to not be imprisoned in a neutral contentment, for you to have resolved something that is old and long overdue, to send that energy away from you so it's not there anymore. I have a feeling that you are meant to be electric. You're meant to electrify us with who you are, with your personality, with your gifts and talents, with your individuality. Like, there's a reason why I was shown that. It's at the tip of your tongue. It's your identity. It's who you are. And there's this strange, like, thin layer that's not who I am. It is who you are. So we're working through setting you free to be who you are. I mean, it's incredible. I'm blown away by this. Okay, give this some days, all right, of energy digestion, and let this just process and allow yourself to be pleasantly transformed as the days and weeks pass, okay? Because a long session like this, you can be feeling the echoes for 2 to 3 weeks, okay? All right. I wish you well, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for sharing with others. And everybody watching, thank you for getting from beginning to end here. Thank you for all your love and support, your kind comments, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.